waiting to do that. I get so excited to get to it. But I think it's because I'm the Fonz, and the Fonz would go, "Hey!"
There you go.
I just adapted into my personality. We're switching focus to the most recent news, and one of the most exciting things, and the reason we invited Adam on, was that Apex Legends has just been released on the Switch.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
more
feel
people
like
for me to just completely destroy.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of unsuspecting children who will download this game because it looks epic and it's free. They're going to go on there and just get wrecked. Like
That's the idea.
many days since it's been on there, to the point I'm like, I'm going to kill somebody. Eventually I will. I'm just following whoever's in charge. Like, I'm just going to stick with you because you look like you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I love that game.
That's great. Well, let me give some information to anybody who doesn't know about it. It's a free-to-play online battle royale developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by EA. Came out in February of 2019, and now it is available on the Switch as of March this year. So, Adam, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story in Apex Legends? Because if anybody's coming in now, they're going to be in what, season 8?
I believe season 8's the one that just came out.
Tell us about that. How do those seasons work?
Yeah, okay, so the game is based in the same universe that Titanfall takes place in. So if you've played Titanfall, it is in the same universe, and a lot of the things that they reference are references to the Titanfall universe,
I did
which
not know
is
that.
yeah. So it's in the same universe, and it's a lot. They actually have a lot of the same things. So like in Titanfall, there's a weapon called a Volt, and it's an energy weapon. Kind of looks like an AR, and they just added that into the game a few 2-3 seasons ago. And that thing is a beast. I love that thing. It's like a laser, just you can just destroy people with it. But it's based in the same universe. And there's a whole bunch of different operators that you have. And so, for example, you have like Pathfinder, you have Wraith. These are the name. These are like they're like call signs is the best way to describe them. The one of my main characters her name is Lifeline, but her real name is actually like AJ or something like that. But everyone goes by their character names or their call signs. And so there is an underlying story that's going on, and all the characters do know each other. For example, there's a character called Revenant, and he is like a cybernetic robot guy, but with a human brain, and he like can't die. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. He definitely can die in the game, and like don't get me wrong, but like his whole thing is that he can't die, and so he's like really cynical. He's been alive forever, and so he actually killed the parents of another one of the operators, and so their quips back and forth to each other is like very snarky, very bad, very mean towards each other, and it's really cool to see and step in to this world where there's like a whole bunch of history going on. You know what I've never understood is why the Apex Legends, like why there's a battle royale going on in the first place, because they always have, some sort of backstory, but I've never understood that. But basically, there's like this company called Hammond, and they are like the creators of this of sorts. And there's like a whole lot of cybernetics stuff that's going on, and so that's what Hammond's whole thing is. They're like a cybernetic research facility or something along those lines, and so they created a couple of the characters, or a couple of the characters work for the company. And then before all of this was going on, I was actually doing a little bit of research right here, and there was a whole war going on called the Frontier War, and that is supposedly like the Titanfall area. And so I don't know if I think this might take place after Titanfall and after Titanfall 2. But like one of the characters is named Bangalore, and she fought in the Frontier War. So it's kind of interesting to see. Yeah, it's really interesting to see all those lores. And for the most part, there is you just hop in the game, do a battle royale, pick your operator, and each operator has like a different perk or quirk that they have. But there is like a story mode that gives you bits and pieces of the backstory. It's almost like these characters have amnesia, and you're finding out what happened in this different thing. So they added a map called Olympus, which is the one that you were playing on, and that is like in the sky. And so as you're playing the game, even into their standard battle royale mode, you could hear different quips that the characters have. Like there's like a whole farm area on the map Olympus, and anytime the characters go over there, they're like, oh, they could have fed the whole world with the research that they had here. And that's something the characters just say that, in the background of free for alling it with other players.
Yeah, I found that interesting. The dialogue as you're playing, there seems to be dialogue between characters just kind of as you're moving about in your ears, you
Yeah.
hear them talk and explaining what's going on and tying it into the overarching story.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize there is kind of like a story mode where you can
Full on.
progress. I haven't accessed that.
Yeah. So if you're playing the game on here, and I think I have it pulled up actually. Where's my mouse? There it is. As you're playing, you can you go to like the main title screen where all of your people are. In the top left, you can click like the season, and then you can play season games.
Oh, so you can go back to the previous seasons.
I don't think you can go back. That's the one thing
bummer.
I don't like about this, because I played season 1 and part of season 2, and then I stopped until season 5. Right. So I didn't play for quite a while, and there's a lot of story arcs or a lot of story chunks that I'm missing, and that I'd probably have to like. I could probably find it on YouTube and watch like a whole breakdown of
cinematics.
Everything. Exactly. Yeah, I could watch the stuff like that. But I hopped back in at season 5 and had to piece together different things. And like the relationship between the characters Loba and Revenant, those are the two that don't like each other. And so I've sort of pieced that together, that Revenant killed her parents, and then that she came back for vengeance looking for Revenant, but they have to team up together to be in the battle royale thing. And so like Loba will one of her perks is that she puts down this thing. It's called a black market, and it like pulls loot from a certain radius into this one spot. So you don't have to go looking around for loot. You just go to this one spot. And so if Revenant uses that, Loba gets mad. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So this kind of strikes me like Overwatch a little bit.
Yeah.
I follow the cinematics of Overwatch. Like, I love it. I've actually only played Overwatch maybe twice because I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. This is the kind of stuff that gives me anxiety, and I'm just going to die. I wanted a story. Like, I wanted a story mode where you almost kind of like I guess kind of like a brawler, or maybe more like an RPG type game. But then I found out it was like a battle royale first person shooter. And I loved the cinematics. That's really what drew me to it. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This gorilla talks, like, and these people like are like look like angels in like mech suits, and there was kind of like that whole Snake Eyes and what was his brother's name? White Cobra or something like that. And G.I. Joe, like that. They're brothers, but they're rivals, and they're trying to kill each other. It was like a ninja.
But yeah.
So I'm like, that drew me to the game. But then I played it, and I'm like, oh, but it's different. It kind of was almost like, I felt like for me, it was like, oh, it's kind of misleading. Like, this isn't what I wanted to do with these characters.
Yeah.
But with Apex Legends, like I saw the cinematics and I was intrigued, and I came and I played the Battle Royale. It is a little different. What sets Apex Legends apart from other Battle Royale type games and other games kind of like Overwatch and those type that are like free to play? It seems to be an overarching story, but you're coming into a Battle Royale. What set it apart for you?
So I will say, prefacing that, is there is not really a story mode to be played, right? There's like different things that you have to do. And so like one of the main enemies aside from other players is the thing, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but they're like these lion creature things that you go fight. And so like one of the things you have to do is like you have to fight off waves of those tiger lion things.
Okay.
While also like I remember one of them is you have to like go drill and mine for artifacts that you're piecing together while fending off these lions. Right. That's pretty much the story mode. And then the rest of the story mode comes from cinematics and things that you read and whatnot. So there's no story mode, I should say, but there is a story and background information that's interesting. And I find the story fascinating as I'm learning it. And they keep adding new operators that add different things to the story, and it's really interesting. The thing I think that sets Apex specifically apart from battle royales in general is that all battle royales are, aside from Apex, is that you drop down, find your stuff, and eliminate the other team, right? The interesting thing about Apex is that you have, a pool of operators that you have to choose from, and you can only pick 3 for your team, and they have to balance each other and help each other out. So you could pick 3 attackers that don't heal, and then you're kind of screwed because you don't have a healer on your team. You know what I mean? Other battle royales don't have that at all.
So it pushes team play that way. There's strategy. You're going to want to strategize. I see. And I see why
Exactly.
group play, it's more lucrative, like getting people
Exactly.
in the,
Yeah. And so, and then depending on who you main, will be beneficial to the team or not. You know, one of the characters that I main is Lifeline, and she is a healer, and she has this drone that just gives you health. You know, and so after a firefight will happen, I'll throw this drone down so that they don't have to use their health kits until it's, you know, they're far away from me battling someone on their own. I can't get to them, so it saves them there. But then there's also this operator named Bloodhound who does the scan thing, and it, you know, within a certain radius, illuminates where other players are through walls. So it gives you wall hacks for 10 seconds.
That's super helpful.
Oh, super helpful. And so
if you really have no idea where anyone is. I've noticed that, like, there's no real radar. There's no real way to know. You thankfully can see where your teammates are on the map, and you can even see them through walls and whatnot. Like, it's just they're always available to you. But everyone else, it's just element of surprise, and the maps are enormous. Like, it's not like in Halo where, you know, you can go like 10 steps and you can see almost everybody in anywhere. If you go to a high place, you're going to be able to see your enemies moving around. Here, that's not the case. Their stealth is so huge. These games can take up to, like, you know, 20 minutes long or however.
In fact, funny enough, right before I joined the Discord or the Zoom call with you guys, I was actually looking at the time because I was in a game and I was like, oh my gosh, this game's taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. You know, I was like, I'm gonna have to get off really soon. You know. Fortunately, I just got roasted by an enemy team like right beforehand.
Fortunately for us.
Yeah, exactly. But there's so many different tactical ways you can play it. You can run and gun because this game is fast paced, like really, really fast paced. You know, it's one of those games where you flick, shoot, run, slide, jump, you know, and you could do all these different things, and you have to be fast and on it and know where your keys are at all times. You know what I mean? Pokemon.
I did see that because I was watching some videos and I wanted to know how different it is to Fortnite. And how does it compete with Fortnite? Because Fortnite's so huge, right? And so one of the things I noted is that Apex Legends is fast-paced, quick-paced. So that supplements the building side of Fortnite. Now, I'm not a big fan of the building thing. I thought it was
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I did not like that. It's not me. Some people love it. Like, they love building on the fly. It's not even building. It's more like you've just created 4x4 walls to protect you, right?
Exactly,
but when I saw Apex Legends, I saw that it has a speed to supplement the building, right? So, like, I was looking at characters just jumping around and everything, and so I saw that, like, okay, so now you're rewarded for just moving really quick instead of building things. So I was like, okay, this could interest me a little more.
It's definitely fantastic. It's really hard when you get these dudes who are just spider monkeys. You know what I mean? They're just going and going and going, and you can also run up walls and jump off them, and there's like different things that you can do when you get really good at this game. And so sometimes it's really hard to keep your crosshairs on a target because, you know, you could be going, but then the best part about it, they have, if you're fighting one person, so, you know, like, for example, me and Fonz are fighting right now, and then Luis is on Fonz's team, you know, and then all of a sudden Luis sees Alfonso in trouble and starts attacking me. Now I have two people to worry about, where my team might not be behind me yet. They might not be there. They might be busy on their own thing. And then if two teams are fighting, you can get third-partied by another team that comes in and just destroys you, which is a very common thing. So, you know, me and my team will be going, and we'll hear firefight off to our right, and we say to each other, do you want to go third-party that? You know what I mean? Because they're fighting, they're preoccupied with each other. I can go flank them, and then on top of that, their shields are already gone, their health is already low, and I'm coming in as the victor already. And so getting third parties is a common thing.
So is there
happen.
This was interesting too. So is there an engagement? Does it take some time? Because in most of these type of games, like, you die within seconds. If you see someone else, like, in 2 or 3 seconds, someone's gonna die, right? But it's like, as you mentioned, that there's a fire team. So is there like a time frame, like, where a fire team could come and go to that area because the engagement's taking longer than usual in most other games?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't eliminate a team fast, another team's gonna be there soon. Because it's loud, and it's going to be loud. And the way the games work generally is you either drop hot or you drop not. You know what I mean? And if you drop hot, you're going to be in a fight immediately with no shields, no guns, no anything. You're automatically fighting with other people, and they incentivize those hot drops. You know what I mean? They have like your high tier loot zones and it shows up on the map, and it says, hey, there's a lot of high tier loot right here. And then you and 4 other teams all try to get to that loot and get the loot before everyone else does to eliminate everyone. But now you have, you know, because
firefight.
Exactly. Teams of 3, you have 12 guys, huge firefight going on. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to stay away away from that one. So I
Right.
I drop by myself, loot as much as I can. And there's some games where I don't run into a single other team until the very last, team,
Yeah.
and the other thing that incentivizes you want to get in firefight is they have the shields. They have 4 different levels of shields, and the more you fight, the quicker the shields go up, right? And so you have, the basic shield, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and then there's a level 5 shield, but you can only get the level 5 shield by getting in firefights and upgrading your shield through damage, right? So if you see a dude with a level 5 shield, you're kind of screwed because they've been fighting the whole time. They're already, higher shields than you. They have more shields than you because it's a level 5 shield. They've already eliminated other players. So it's like, that's a top dog player right there. They're gonna really be a difficult one to fight. So
that's very interesting. Yeah, I noticed also the environment starts to play a factor.
Absolutely.
There were these heat these heat circles that started showing up.
So that right now is specific to season 8. That's like a what do they call it? It's called a takeover, and it's like a specialty game mode.
Okay.
Right. So that doesn't happen all the time. That's just in what's going on right now. And
Interesting.
It could help you. It could not. You can. I played it for the first time today, actually, because I play ranked.
Mm-hmm.
And those takeovers don't happen in ranked. So today I actually played the heat zones, and those add a whole nother layer to what's going on.
Because it expands and it gets bigger, and it actually forces you to move out of the area that you're in, especially if you're getting backed into a corner and it's coming into your corner. You got to come in, you're taking damage as you're moving out, but then you see it also pushes people from where they're at. They're running off in a distance. You're like, I see you, you bastard. I'm going to go after you now.
Exactly.
Because for a good while, I haven't played a game of Apex that didn't last over 10 minutes at least. I never it takes a good hot minute, and I think it's because we've always started off away from the firefight, whoever I've been paired with. But the more that I play, the more it's super important that you're in contact with your team, because if they're running off and doing their own thing, you're solo, and if you're solo, you're very hard to survive. If you get shot and you're on the floor, there's a good while where somebody could come around and help you out. But if you're by yourself, not with your teammates, not putting your, I think that's where the tactics come in. And what I enjoy about it is that you can actually drop commands with, by pressing, they give you command keys where you can actually let people know where the loot is, let people know where the enemies are. And, it communicates in the game, which I think is a disadvantage for somebody who's playing the Switch, because the Switch is not made for, it doesn't have the software capabilities to have in-game chat. You have to download an app on your phone and use the app from your phone to have voice chat with people in your party. Whereas anywhere else, you just plug your headset into your remote or into your system or even via Bluetooth, and you're in the game. You're already chatting with everybody who's there. In the Switch, it does make that harder. And there's also disadvantage. Dude, you cannot play this game handheld. I tried. When I first downloaded this game, I played it handheld in my front yard. I'm watching my kids in the neighbor's house. They're jumping on the trampoline, and I'm holding this thing, and I'm like, what? All I can see is literally the barrel of my gun and my scope. And I'm like, dude, if anybody comes out at me, I'm screwed. I can't see anything. And the fact that it's so pixelated and the liquid crystal screen, just doesn't compare.
Is it crossplay?
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
and you're playing with people who are on different platforms. They're on PC, which
PC is so unfair.
You can so you can set it to where you're only playing within your console thing. So you can make it so that you're so within your settings you can make it so that you can only play to Switch players or you can only play PC players. I play crossplay because there are people that I play with that are on other consoles and other things. One of my best friends plays on Xbox, and so I play crossplay, but I play on PC. And so, oftentimes I outshoot other people because I've got the mouse and keyboard right here. But I was going to say, one of the biggest components of it is sound. Sound makes a big difference because you can hear footsteps coming up before they happen. So if you don't have a headset, you're kind of definitely at a disadvantage. You're kind of screwed because you can't hear the firefight happening until it's happening and you're taking damage.
Yeah, it's definitely something I enjoyed playing on my TV for sure.
I think
it's impossible I would say it's well, nothing is impossible, but I mean you have to have a certain amount of talent to be able to play handheld. It's definitely something you want to have on your TV.
Of course.
It's very enjoyable. If you have a nice TV, if you have a good screen, it actually doesn't look too bad. I've heard like
it's a
things where,
pretty
like,
game.
yeah, it is. It reminded me kind of I don't know if you guys remember the game Mirror's Edge on the Xbox, where
Ooh,
you're
yeah.
a runner and you're a
Mhm.
jumper.
Absolutely.
Like it's pretty, it's bright, it's I mean the graphics are pretty great, and actually the movement component of it, like where you can actually climb. I was a Pathfinder, the robot looking guy.
Oh yeah.
I really liked him, but the thing is he didn't start off with a weapon. I was like, well, I have nothing, you know.
Yeah, no
Literally have
one
only
starts
my
out with
hands.
anything.
Okay, I
What-
thought it was
yeah.
something just to him, but
No.
like, I have nothing.
You're gonna have to talk to them out of shooting you.
Yeah, the running and the jumping and the climbing. I'm like, oh, this is pretty neat. Like you have quite a bit of agility and,
That is
and
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
acrobatic.
depending on where you are, there is you have your X and your you have your X and your Y axis that every shooter game has. You're moving forward, backwards, left, and right. But with Apex, there's a whole Z axis, because there's really, really high structures that I can snipe down on you from. Or if I'm in a firefight, there's these things called jump towers, which is basically a yellow rope on a balloon, right?
Yes.
And if I'm in a firefight and I'm losing, I can just hop on that and skyrocket up and get out of there. And I've done that a lot of times, but you can still get shot on there, and I can also shoot down from there. So there's like 1,000,001 things that you can do, which I love, because it adds all these dynamics to the game. And I think that's what sets it apart from any other first-person shooter that I've played. Is there's so many things that can happen at any given time to where it never gets old.
The strategy makes it appealing, because for me personally, I'm not a big shooter type. I mean, going back to like when I was playing my shooters in Halo 2, and then going all the way to when I played Battlefield, Call of Duty, it was always the same concept. You're just chasing each other around the map. There really wasn't strategy or the need for teams. Maybe a competitive gameplay was different, but yeah, just playing a pickup game. There was no strategy. There was no competition. It's whoever knew the map the best wins. It was what
exactly
it came down
That's
to.
Call
right?
of Duty.
Yeah. And so, as you described it, strategy plays an important role, and
Huge.
And there's a lot of things going on, and it sounds like even from Alfonso said that the parkour is really fun, and so that definitely,
fantastic.
yeah, definitely has an excitement, and I think it might be a good balance, because I also did play another game called Escape from Tarkov, and it's a realistic shooter, right? And so that was fun. I played with my brother. My brother's a Marine, so he really got into it and really showed me how to play the game the right way, and it was fun until there was a lot of hackers that would join in and really kill the realism, right? And so because you lose all your things. Now that's a fun part of the game too, because you have to get your equipment and pay for it. But then if you die, you lose everything. And and so like when you have someone who's hacking the game or going in there, it was just really discouraging. So I just shelved the game. I was like, not anymore. It's too stressful, right? But this game does sound interesting. Definitely gonna be worth a check out. And I did download it on computer and on the Switch. Just for
you got a game, bro.
Yeah. And I think after hearing, like, if it's going to be that way, computer will probably be the way I'll go.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely play it on your computer. If I recommend it, because of how, not necessarily tactical, how fast paced it is, the flicking of a mouse is just next level. You know what I mean? And my buddies who I play with, I'm in a group. I'm in like a clan with a bunch of people, and they're the ranking system is like, what is it? Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, Apex, or I think there's one other thing in there. All of my friends that I play with are platinum and up. They're all stupid good players, and I'm like a gold player. You know what I mean? I'm the worst one of my group. And they're stupid good, and they're the kinds of guys that like they'll go into like a first person shooter trainer, and then they'll sit there and flick their mouse back and forth. So there's guys that are like that.
Dedication.
Good Lord.
Oh, they're stupid good.
Jeez.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so the nice thing about the ranking system though is it ranks you with people that are of your skill set and of your skill level. So and everyone starts out in the bottom tier. We all, doesn't matter how high you got, you're going to start at level 1 for the ranking system at the new season, right? And then the people who are stupid good get stupid good rankings very, very fast, and the people who lack stay down here for a long time, and you weed out. So like day 1 of the new season, you might get just completely destroyed by diamond players, but they'll be in diamond tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think it really does balance very, very well. It makes it fun.
And that's a progression
was-
curve, right? Like, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ian.
No, I was gonna say that was gonna be like my one question about it so far, is because I mean, this is not my type of game at all, but you're doing a pretty dang good job like selling it for
Woo!
me.
Solid.
But that's my biggest fear, is because when it comes to playing any game online, particularly first person shooters, and maybe that's because I've been soiled by like Call of Duty being one of the only ones I ever really tried, is just how quickly you realize it makes me have to come to terms with the fact that I suck at video games.
Yeah.
Like it's total ego death for me.
Of course.
Yeah. But knowing that like you say you kind of swear by the ranking system there, that maybe it is worth me jumping in at a low skill level, and then seeing that maybe I don't know, maybe I'll just be playing amongst the slow thumbed 8-year-olds. I don't know, but knowing that I have a chance, you know, makes me feel like, and knowing that I like not just that, but then like I kind of have the opportunity to move my way up, that clean slate thing that you're talking about, you know, with every season. Like that sounds like a good way to go about that, because I know one of the ones I tried too was Battlefront 2, when that one, and it had all of its controversy for a while, but that game, like, you know, slowly course corrected into being a better game and a better online multiplayer like service. But there was never really a way to escape the fact that you were going to run into power players. It was just going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And knowing that there's a chance in here for you to kind of feel like you're going more up against well matched people, I think might be the incentive I needed.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Respawn and EA have done a really, really good job at matchmaking in this and matching you against players who are of your skill set. You know, that's why I swear by the ranking system, because yeah, rank matters and I don't want to tarnish my rank, but I'm playing against people who are just as good as I am. You know what I mean? And if I'm playing in casual games, then I can be playing against any person. So the top 2 tiers of Apex is the Apex Predator, which is top 1, and then Apex Diamond players, right? Apex Predators, if you run into a Predator, okay, there's only 500 slots available for Predator. So if I go into Predator and I'm, you know, Predator 500, that means I've knocked someone out of the Predator slot.
Whoa. So
yeah,
500, like worldwide, like there's only 500 players that are Predator?
Only 500.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow.
Right? But the coolest part about that, there could be infinite diamonds, only 500 predators, right? And those guys, I'm already come to terms with the fact that I'm never going to be a predator. Those guys are next level. But in casual games, everyone has their smoke trail when they're dropping in. That's true for Fortnite. That's true for, you know, all these battle royales, is they all have smoke trails for some reason. The way Apex did it is that you get a customized smoke trail if you're a predator and a customized smoke trail if you're diamond, and those are readable for everybody. So I've dropped in where I see the predator trail and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go that way, I'm gonna go this way, you know, because there's a predator in my match, right? That's for casual games. For the ranked games, I will never run into a predator because I'm not at that level. I'm not a predator level, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be playing people who are bronze and silver as a bronze. I'm going to be running into people who are, you know, silver and gold as a silver. And so it might set you up with some people that are a little bit better than you and a little bit worse than you.
Opportunity to grow.
Exactly. You know, and the best part about it is I've gone into games with a diamond player and, you know, an enemy team took them out, and then I took out that enemy team. You know what I mean? So it's like there is a lot of things that can happen, and it's super dynamic and ever changing constantly. And I think that's the best part about it. And then depending on which operators you take into the game can make or break your game. And so there's operators who are trappers, operators who are defense players, operators who are healers, operators who are trackers. You know what I mean? So there's a million and one things that you can do the lottery system, not the lottery system, the what's the word I'm looking for? The randomization of the game, you'll never play the same game twice. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
If I pick the same 3 operators of me and my buddies and I drop in the same spot every single time, the players that drop there, the amount of players that drop there, the operators that these people took will never ever be the same. So I could drop in the same spot with the same 3 people on my team and run into a ton of people, or to nobody, or someone who's really good with their player, or, you know what I mean? So I think that's what adds a lot of replayability, is that there's always something different. every time.
And I did read up that the weapons stay the same. There isn't upgrading weapons, but there is upgrading like cosmetic things on your weapons, right? Like that's how you get to show like, you know, hey, I've been playing these things earned, but the weapons stay the same. So there's no advantage. Like someone like in Battlefront 2, for example, this is a game I love too. But one of the things that's really hard for new players is that these people have buffed out weapons and they buffed out abilities. So like, if you're just starting out, you really have to just be willing to take all the crap in the beginning to become a good player. You're going to lose a lot before you start winning some, right? So that's Battlefront. And in this game, I read that everyone has the same weapon. So
exactly. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying so that definitely like as a new player makes it interesting to start out.
No matter how good you are at this game, when you drop in, you're starting the same as everybody else. There's no like bumps in DPS or damage per second. There's no bumps in ammo capacity. When I drop and I pick up a gun for the first time, I have the same gun that you just picked up. And there might be different guns because they have, assault rifles, they have machine guns, light machine guns, all these different things. Exactly. They have different types of guns. So for the different players, there's some people who are really good at sniping and can hit their shots every time. I'm not one of those players. I'm a heavy machine gun player. I love to just spray and pray and I will just lay down fire. There are upgrades you can find within the game, but it's randomized. You have to go out and loot, which is why they incentivize you to go loot. And they have these areas where there's going to be high tier loot, but everyone who plays the game knows there's high tier loot, and they go there, and that's where the firefights happen.
It's a dangerous area. Got it.
Exactly, and you can see on the map the dangerous areas as well. So you could stay away from them, or go to them, or try your luck somewhere else, or try and fight. Whatever the thing is, and that's what adds. Again, is talking about the dynamics. There's so many different aspects of what can happen depending on where you drop, how fast you are, how good you are, what it is. The only thing you can upgrade is your skins, really, which I spend. Like you spent money on those Pokeballs, I spent some money on some skins.
Right.
So
that's where they get you.
I love it, dude. I have some sick looking characters.
Yeah, that's why it's free to play.
Exactly.
Ultimately, what you want to customize is your experience. The game, it got you because it's free, but then the money comes in customizing your characters and whatnot, and your weapons and all the cool stuff.
I mean, I may eat my words if I end up playing it, but luckily, like I've never cared about having like the premium skins or any of my character looking a certain way. Like I think my Pokemon Go avatar is still just like t-shirt and jeans.
I changed that immediately.
I'm pretty sure my Fall Guys character is still just a purple jelly bean. Like
Love it.
I'm like, I'll if it doesn't cost me anything, I'll go for forever. You know what? I'm aiming for the Apex that 500 rank. All right, and I'm just saying, might as well just go out in the plainest clothes possible.
It's like,
speaking of Fall Guys, their Fall Guys is now getting Among Us costumes.
Oh,
so you can get your little jelly bean guy to have an Among Us little astronaut outfit or whatever those are.
I love it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's pretty close already, isn't it?
Right?
I thought they were the same game.
Yeah,
I saw the pictures of it, and I'm like, it seems right. That's great. I'm sold, Adam. I'm
happy I could be a liaison for you to get you into this game. In fact, EA, hit me up. I definitely will talk you up next time I talk about this game.
Absolutely. That's not a paid promotion, but hey, might as well be.
Not as yeah.
We're gonna have to link up and play because I want to play with somebody who knows what they're doing and can
absolutely
guide me through it.
Absolutely, I would love to be a part of this.
Yes.
There we go. Smash that like button for Adam.
Yeah.
For Adam's sake, give him some feedback in the comments area. Are you guys playing it? Do you want to play it now that Adam has convinced you? We want to hear about it.